Welcome everyone to week 3. In week 3 we're going to be looking at consumer behavior and utility. Very interesting week, and I recommend any of you that really like economics, that's another new subject that's really been focused on, is consumer behavior and decisions that are made with consumers. Now for this week we're going to be focused on a couple key things. Reading chapter 5, quiz number 1, and your My Econ Lab work. So make sure to note that you have 3 things to do: quiz, My Econ Lab assignment, and reading chapter 5. All has to be due by Saturday. This confuses people a lot because they think that quiz and My Econ Lab are the same thing, which is not the case. Now, what is behavioral economics? Very interesting thing. Behavioral economics is basically the study of the effects of how we make decisions by individuals and institutions and the consequences for market prices, returns, allocations of resources. The fields are primarily concerned with bounds of rationality of economic agents. What type of behavioral models typically integrate into those different types of theories? But the study of behavioral economics includes how market decisions are made and the prices that drive those decisions. I think it's an interesting thing because why do consumers make the decisions that they have to? That's the key thing. Why do they actually do what they have to? And a lot of people get confused by that because we don't know why we make our decisions. But that's what we're going to be focused on. Now, with My Econ Lab work, you get 2 attempts at it. And I take the highest of the 2 attempts. So please make sure to note that. A lot of people don't realize they get 2 attempts. And it's a big advantage to have those 2 attempts. Now for quiz number 1, it's going to be totally different. Quiz number 1, you're going to have 1 attempt, 40 minutes. And when you start it, you must end it. You can't come back to it. That confuses people because the directions will say this test can be resumed and started later, which is true, but the clock is always starting. Now, what are we covering in this chapter? On this quiz. Question number 1 is going to be dealing with the diminishing marginal utility of income and the decisions that we have to make with the diminishing marginal returns. Question 2, if expected income can be used as a direct measure of well-being, why? Why is it used as a way to measure our well-being? Question 3, people often use probability statements to describe events that can only happen once. Probability statements are what type of probability? Subjective or objective? What type of probability are they? Now, question 4 is going to be dealing with a retailer. And now behavioral economists focus on how stores try not to sell goods and services, how they use to itemize things, why we place preferences on things. What is that practice called when they're trying to make a different statement with the pricing that they do? Question 5. What is the correlation between an asset's real rate of return and risk? What type of correlation exists between those? Question 6. The expected value is a measure of what? What are we trying to measure? What is the expected value trying to measure? Question 7. The variance of an investment opportunity. What can it never be? Question 8. I'm going to give you a couple examples and what will not make an asset price bubble burst. Question 9. I'm going to give you more examples, but which one is generally not accepted as a means of reducing risk? We buy insurance, we diversify, we gain more information, and we make better decisions. But what is the reason why we do this? And the last one. What is the best price index that measures changes in the price of housing from sales information? So that's going to be focused on what your quiz is looking at. And if you have any questions, just let me know. But I look forward to another good week. Make sure Chapter 5, My Econ Lab and Quiz. Take care.